And welcome to the Board Game Network. This is James. I'm going to be showing you how to play this game called Clank. It's put out by Renegade Games. It's a 2 to 4 player game, and it's a deck building game, and it plays in less than an hour. To start the game, you're just going to take these 4 20-point tokens and set them up here by the entrance to the dungeon. You are going to take the dragon and put him down here if it's a 4-player game, here if it's 3, here if it's 2. And some of these artifacts, the hexagonal ones, are going to be randomly pulled out if you're playing a 3 or a 2-player game. Just check the setup for that. But each of these are set in a specific place. They've got the point values there. And you'll notice the deeper into the dungeon you get, the more valuable these points are. The major secrets, the big circle with a question mark, those are just flipped upside down, mixed up, and set on a circle. The minor secrets, the smaller ones, are flipped over and mixed up, and you got 2 per circle. Here's some monkey icons over here, monkey idols. Those are just 5 each. And this is a traditional deck building game. You're going to start with 10 cards in your deck. You're going to start with a couple of stumbles, several burgles, a sidestep, and a scramble. And those are 10. That will make up 10 cards. These will all start with a gray banner up here. Everybody has exactly the same cards in their deck. You're going to mix those up. You're going to shuffle your 200 card dungeon deck and deal 6 face up. Now if any of them come up with a dragon on them, those get mixed back into the deck until you draw 6 that do not have dragons on them. So we'll just pretend I mix those back in. You've got a stack of these explorer cards, a stack of mercenary cards, a stack of secret tome. You notice those all have a gold banner on them. The goblin with the red banner is double-sided. This is just one that stays out there that you can fight whenever you want to. You can fight him as many times as you want to. He's always available to fight. You are going to, the first player that goes is going to throw 3 Clank out here. The second player 2 Clank, the third 1, and the fourth 0. All of the black cubes go into the dragon bag. So this is a great introductory game to deck building games because it's so simple. So you draw your 5 cards. You're always going to have 5. If you get a new card, when you play your cards, they just go to the discard. When you buy a new card, it will go to the discard. You don't have to be super careful about how you're playing, the order you're playing in, or anything. I have 2 stumbles in my opening hand. They say +1 Clank. Whenever you have +1 Clank, you're putting a cube over here in this banner. So I would put 2 Clank over there. I have 3 Burgles. Those all give me 1 skill. And that lets me buy new cards. And here is the cost of the card in the lower right hand corner. So a purple banner up here like this ladder is just a one-time use card. So you use it and it gets discarded. It does not get added to your deck. So let's buy the Treasure Hunter. That one costs 3. That goes in my discard. I draw 5 new cards. It's the next player's turn. And since I used a card on here, a new card gets flipped up. If there's a card there with a dragon on it, then what happens is all Clank over here gets put into the bag. You shake that bag up and you draw as many blocks out of the bag as what the dragon is on. So I'm drawing 2. I got a black one, it just gets put out. and the blue one gets set on this track. And this track, once this gets filled up, knocks out that player. So if the player is below in the depths below ground level, then he's just out of the game. He does not score any of his points. His marker that starts up here, if it's down below depths, he's going to come up here, and that's going to signal the end of the game and within 5 rounds. Because on his turn, he's just going to move this forward, and each time you get here to one of these, it has the dragon icon up here. That signals a dragon attack, plus extra cubes get pulled out of the bag. So, and once the marker gets all the way to the end, that's the end of the game. Whoever scores, whoever has made it out or made it above ground gets to score their points. So your goal is to get in, grab artifacts, grab things that are worth points, and get out. Every time you pick up an artifact, that makes the dragon more mad, and so he moves up a space on the track. And then there's also some dragon eggs in here. So if you grab one of those, it makes him move one space up. Also, because he's not too happy when you start grabbing his eggs. And hopefully get out fast enough that other people are still below depths trying to pick up stuff while you get out, and once you get above ground, you're going to come up here on this track, and the end of the game is going to be triggered once you get to there. So here's the different things that happen on a card. This one says acquire down here. And acquire, this just happens when you buy the card. Once you buy the card, it goes in your discard pile. That says +2 Clank. So buying this diamond forces you to put 2 Clanks over here. This one is going to give you 2 coins. You have a market out here. This is what you use coins for. This market costs 7 for any of these things here. There's a crown. There's 3 different crowns. One's worth 10, one's worth 9, one's worth 8. There's 2 backpacks here. They're worth 5 victory points, but a backpack lets you carry an extra artifact. You can only normally have 1 artifact. That lets you carry an extra one. And then here's a set of keys, and keys let you get through this tunnel that's got a lock on it. So that's what you use coins for, and coins are also worth points at the end of the game. Here is one that says danger, pull 1 cube for +1 cube for dragon attacks. So with this card out, that you're going to pull an extra cube past more than what it tells you to pull up here. The purple banner ones are one-time use, so once you purchase it, you do whatever it says, you're going to discard that card. And we have no monsters except for this one here. And so, like, if I had the pickaxe in my deck and I drew it in my hand, this would give me 2 swords. This one takes 2 swords to defeat it. So if I just play that card down, I can defeat the goblin, and I will get 1 coin for that. So let's see what else I got in my deck. Oh, I've got more skill, and I've got boots. And it takes boots to move in this game. So in my second turn, I would play that, and I get everything that's on the card. If I use the boots, I still get the skill. So that would let me move 2 spaces, so 1, 2. I would have 4 skill total. So I would look and see what I can buy for 4 skill. And every turn that there's a dragon out on one of these cards, the dragon's going to attack. So you're going to pull in Clank into the bag, you're going to draw Clank from the bag, and then set it out here. But if somebody buys this card and puts it into the discard, that will stop the dragon from attacking, because there's unless a new card gets flipped up that's got a dragon on it. So we flip more cards up. next player. And so this goes until somebody gets out or until somebody gets knocked out. And if somebody gets, either one gets out or gets knocked out, they get put on this track. These crystal caverns, these things, when you're moving, you have to stop in one of those. You cannot move through them. There's also a monster icon here. Monster icon gives you 1 point of damage, so you take one of your Clank cubes and set it over here, unless you played a card that had a sword on it, because a sword can prevent 1 point of damage from one of these monsters. These double footprints here, that means you have to put 2 boots down to go through that tunnel. There's other cards, there's other words on these cards. Some of them say arrive. If it says arrive, then when you put the card out, then it does, since the card arrived onto the game board, whatever it says, then it does. Acquire happens when you buy the card. And then all of the icons and things that are on the secrets, those are just listed right here on the back of the rule book. And at the end of the game, here's your points. Your points are based on the value of the artifacts that you made it out with or made it above ground with, plus any points on tokens, so like the monkey icons or any of these other tokens you picked up, the secrets that had points on them. You also get points for your gold and points from the cards in your deck. You'll notice some of the cards have point values on them, so you just go through your whole deck and count up all of the points for your deck at the end of the game. So that's how Clank works. You know, it's a super fun game. Great introductory game for a deck builder, and very simple to play, and it's not long and drawn out. And if you ever want good draw bags, Renegade gives the best ones out, bar none. Have not seen any other ones that are as good as Renegades. They had this one, they have this one for Clank, they had the one for Fuse, they had one for whatever that push your luck game was, where you were going in and into the dragon's lair. That game, yeah. These are like felt, but they're embroidered, so very nice. And when we played this on Thursday, we played it and we replayed it just because you're like, man, we got to try this over again. This was a good game. Nice and fun, simple, not a lot of thought. You don't have to spend a lot of time thinking. When you got your 5 cards in your hand, you don't have to spend a lot of time figuring out what order you want to play stuff in. You just put it down. If it makes you add Clank, you put it out there. Some of them have minus Clank. You just take the Clank away. And that's how you play Clank. So make sure you tune into all of our videos here at the Board Game Network. Run out and pick up Clank if you think this will, if you want a new deck building game.